building a high revenue business model, then there's some things that you got to be thinking about. Like all the systems that you have that run you and all the systems you have that run your business, how they integrate, how they tie together, and how when you add one and one, you can get 10 instead of two. Hey, I'm Jim Padilla. We're diving in here for a high revenue business insight. And I wanted to take a quick minute before we dive in here. Of course, make sure that you like wherever you're at, whatever platform you're watching this on. Make sure you give me a thumbs up so you can keep getting informed and keep getting more high revenue business insights as they're coming your way as we create them. But I want to take a quick minute to just talk about what is a high revenue business model as we see it. See, we've been in this, in this industry and building sales teams and sales systems for over a decade now, and we've been blessed to generate a lot of freaking money for a lot of people and help people. But what we've recognized along the way is that the more you grow, the bigger your business gets, the more revenue that comes through you, the more impact that you make, the more people you affect. It's so much more about the intangibles. Sales systems, strategies, operations, processes, all of that stuff matters. But at the end of the day, it's the intangibles that really start to move the needle the most. Because as you grow more, then your business is always an extension of you. Even if it's a huge organization with lots of people and you're no longer the driving force in it, your personality, your essence, your mission, your vision, all of that is. And if it's not you directly, then it's your CEO or the people who are leading it. There's always the integration of the systems that drive you and that mesh with the systems that drive the business. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But let me just share real quick, high revenue business model. Just so you're thinking, this is not just about making money and revenue. Well, here's what stands at the core of our work and with our amazing clients. Okay. It's about restoring humanity and honor to sales. In an era where automation and disconnect seem prevalent, right? Disconnection is everywhere, right? We're more disconnected than we've ever been. We stand at the heartbeat of your business, right? We want real, authentic sales based on trust and transformation. We focus on clarifying the complex. Being able to do complicated things is great, but being able to explain them so they're simple is masterful, right? These are part of the things. And when you have a high revenue business model, it's about doing exponential things very simply, right? We demystify the tangled web of sales terms, focusing on creating clarity around revenue, cash flow, profit, and the client lifetime value. It's about making informed decisions that truly amplify your impact and your income. It's about creating generational wealth, okay, generational success. A high revenue business model isn't just a concept. It's a living strategy tailored to propel your business into unprecedented growth. It's about ensuring that your financial achievements also enrich your life and the lives of all of those around you. It's not about quick wins. It's about building a legacy of success, of impact, and of freedom ultimately, right? Your business has the potential to transform lives, starting with your own. Okay, are you ready to step into a high revenue business model? Stick around. We'll talk more about that. Okay, this is not about complicated, crazy things. It's about thinking exponentially and simply moving through those terms, moving through them quickly, powerfully, have the ability to make those decisions and see yourself and be seen as that exponential outcome provider, as a solution provider, as a leader, as a beacon of hope and light in a crazy world that's all around us right now. So let's explore the depths of what is possible when you commit to a model that values the client journey from day one and optimizing you from the beginning, right? Cool or cool? So let me share with you a simple concept right now that we've really been leaning into that hopefully you'll find very valuable. Right, let me get my screen share going on here. Okay, there it goes. Still becoming, learning to master the live stream process here. And one thing that we have to all understand is that we are all a collection of systems. You as a human being, you're a collection of systems. Your body, your being is a collection of systems that are fueled by beliefs. Everything you do is based on systems that you learned growing up, right? So we are people who have systems. You have systems that you learned in school, in church, in the neighborhood, right? Through your parents. In my case, in some of yours, maybe in gangs, in foster care, on the street. What kind of street smarts did you gain from your neighborhood or from your upbringing? What kind of rules of the engagement did I learn from being in prison? Right? All these systems, everything you have is a system you learned someplace. Okay. Sports teams, what things did you learn there that are systems that drive you? And then what are the beliefs that come out of those out of those systems, right? So from school, like you learn how to read, you learned how to value from church. You learned how to value God, or how to be how to be a good friend, how to be a good neighbor, how to study, how to maintain hygiene, right? How to survive or how to thrive, how to be loyal or how to betray, right? Or how to work extra, how to prepare. In sports, I learned tremendous systems around how to spend inordinate amount of time preparing for the small amounts of time you play in a game, right? Everything's a system. And those systems carry with you. They become embedded. They become autopilot. They start driving your beliefs. Then you start having beliefs that, oh, vitality is achievable because you have systems that demonstrate the excellence of what can happen when you really take care of yourself and you prepare for future years, right? Beliefs around the fact that wealth is achievable, or is it only achievable for them, right? Or you have beliefs that say everybody loves me, or I'm getting on people's nerves, or I'm always bothering people, right? That's the kind of stuff that leads to, I don't want to follow up. I don't want to outreach. I want to make crazy asks. I don't want to be a burden, right? What beliefs do you have? And they're all driven by some system or combination of systems that have been driving you as a person, right? You have a belief of God is good, or maybe a belief that God doesn't exist, or I'm a great parent or husband, or I'm a bad one. I'm a great athlete, or nobody picks me because I always got picked last on the playground. All of the systems that you grew up in drive your beliefs. And the good news is that's all achievable. It's all reprogrammable. Your systems create or they reinforce beliefs. And then as you get to a place where you start recognizing, I no longer want to be here and I need to go there, your beliefs start driving the need for new systems. And that's when you continually optimize and thrive. You start finding new ways of being, new ways of living, new ways of moving. Most people, believe it or not, don't. They live in autopilot for years, decades, and some for their entire lives. And you, as a high revenue business model, as a leader, as an impact provider, as somebody who's changing the game for you and the people that you serve, you're constantly looking for ways to innovate, improve, optimize, looking for what's coming in the landscape. And everything puts you in a position of creating new systems. You have to learn a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way to lead, a new way to serve, a new way to sell. How do you design your network? How do you up-level your network? All of these things. So your beliefs inspire or eliminate systems, because as you move to new heights, new levels, and new ways of being, then you start eliminating the old systems that run you and drive you. Hallelujah, right? Thank God for that. Well, the beauty is, if you get that concept, right, type that in the chat. I mean, what systems have been driving you the most? Okay, what systems that you can consciously say, these systems have had the greatest impact on my personal being and who I am as a person? And what systems have I replicated in other places, in my kids? What's the stuff that we put on our children that we wish we never would have? You ever get that? Oh, I don't want to be like my dad. And all of a sudden I became my dad. Right? I hear that stuff all the time. Those are systems. We just have to be aware so we can reprogram the systems and start driving new beliefs that start inspiring and creating more systems that elevate you from where you are and eliminate the past, right? The consequences of the past, the systems that will keep pulling you into the past. So the beauty of the internal system as a human, that you are a collection of systems and beliefs. The business is the same exact thing. Your business is literally a collection of systems. Okay? It is a collection of systems. You have marketing systems, sales systems, hiring systems, systems for creating SOPs, for booking calls, for outreach, for creating events, for delivering a training, for doing a signature talk, right? I have a system that for every one of these trainings that I prepare for, I have a process that I move through. It's a system, right? And it's also driven and interacted with some of the systems that I developed while in jail and in prison, learning how to influence people, how to read the room and move influence in my direction, right? It's not about being the biggest, baddest, boldest on the planet. It's learning how to find your place, move through it, learn how to impact people based on the skill sets that God gave you. And then further than that, it's on the skill sets that you've been able to create and optimize and grow as a result. Right? What are the things you do? You have systems for generating wealth, systems for building a customer lifetime value, systems for reducing client acquisition cost. All of these things are systems, and they all drive beliefs. So what are the beliefs in your business? It doesn't matter what level of business you're at, right? Whether you're a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, you're scaling beyond every new level. You have to learn new ways of being, which then they have belief sets. They drive a belief set based on what your experience has done, what you have, what kind of credibility you've delivered and generated for yourself with yourself, so that you know that what your word means. How many times did you put something on a calendar and not go? How many are you guilty like me of, you put, I'm going to go to the gym at 6 a.m. and it's on the calendar and then I don't go. Well, now you're creating a system that says you don't have credibility. So you don't even have credibility with yourself. So then all of a sudden, deep down, where you might not be thinking about it, you're that small chink in your armor creates a lack of credibility, so that when you start making a bigger decision, you wonder if you can actually count on yourself and depend on yourself to do it. And that starts determining how you delegate, how you engage people, how you work, how you engage clients, how you anticipate the future. All of this stuff is connected. So being a high revenue business model, being a high thought impact leader, you want to be thinking about this, because now everything is simple, because it's simply just breaking down the system. What are the steps? What are those steps that you want to eliminate? And what are you going to replace it with? That's going to move you to another level as you find a new belief and a new mindset around it, a new beliefs. Now you say, okay, here's the system that's going to help me live out that belief, move through that, make a better play, put a better offer, make a better invitation, become a better partner to my spouse, to my team, to my business partners, to the marketplace, to you, right? So I've given up on, I used to try to be this perfect guy who fit the brand, fit the image, and I never recognized that I just am the brand as I am today. And everything that I can do is purely, what I deliver is based on what we know, what we have seen, what we have gained. And so I'm just sharing with you things that you want to be thinking about from a soft skill perspective. You are a collection of systems, right? And this is really where the rubber meets the road on this. This is what's going to make or break the difference. Most of you, the beauty is you've been doing this your whole life. This is how you work. You integrate systems. You just typically do it with a lack of awareness. We do it unconsciously, accidentally. What I want to do is collapse timeframes and get the compound effect of doing this much more intentionally, so that you don't wait for them to happen. You start creating this chain reaction of exponential events by being completely aware. So now you are consciously and intentionally driving new systems from the new beliefs that you have. So just right now, let's put it into action. What is one belief you've got that you want to eliminate or up level? What is a system that you have personally that you can then replicate inside of the business and create a new system that is going to move you from the place that you are, the place that is not functional for you, whether it's, I don't believe I can recruit the right team, I've had the wrong challenges, bringing in the right effective leaders. I heard somebody say the other day, I don't think I can actually bring somebody in who's as good as me. I'll be happy if I can bring in somebody who's 50, 60, 70% of me. And I got news for you. To think nobody's as good as you at this is crazy. But we did that when we were first started building sales teams. I used to wonder, I was like, man, if I could just find the sales leaders that were half as good as me, I'll be happy. Well, guess what I did? I started attracting sales leaders who were half as good as me. And I promise you, it's a nightmare. You don't want that, right? There are people who can do what you can do better than you. And even if they can't do it to the 100% that you can, their 100% is going to be better than the fractional amount of time, effort, and energy you put into it. So they're going to give you a better outcome. So this is about thinking about what are the beliefs you've got that are limiting your success? What are the systems that are running you? And start picking them off. Think about it. And every time you start thinking about it, start identifying it. That's a system I need to eliminate. What can I replace it with? And then how do I integrate that system in my business so that it becomes a natural outgrowth of who I am, capturing my identity, my personality, infused into the culture and the success of the organization. These are the kind of things that a high revenue business model leader runs with. When you got a high revenue business model, it's all about the integration. It's all about the outgrowth of you, how much comes in, how much comes from you, how much goes into you, and you are a symbiotic movement with your business. This doesn't mean you're tied to it, because you can be the face of the brand. You don't have to be the person turning all the screws and doing everything in the business for the business to capture your essence and your personality, your drive and your desire, your mission and your vision, and being able to pass that on to other people like DNA so that they absorb it too. So I hope this is useful to you. This is your high revenue business insight. And I'm Jim Padilla. I look forward to being with you on this journey. Love to see what you're doing with your business. Thanks for trusting me to be part of your success team. Let's go make it happen.